I think I am online. I think so, yeah. It seems that I'm online. Anyway, it's indirect. I'm not really looking for people to be here now. It's an experience. I'm going to speak English because I think that it is easy to have the translation underneath. I'm going to try. Anyway, this is a try, and I have nothing special to tell you, but it's a very long time I haven't spoken to my friends, and I haven't also given any of these videos I give sometimes about masterclass or about dance, and also about my book in French, L'île de Bille ou la Béance des Sens. So it's just a little video because I wanted to try this experience of the online direct YouTube. I just felt inspired for three reasons, let's say. First reason is that I was listening to a video of Ringo Tulku Rinpoche, about this motivation that we can have in our life, which could make us act in ways that are not maybe exactly the best ways to avoid suffering or to avoid creating more suffering. These motivations that we can have are called the 8 mundane dharma in the practice of Buddhism, and I always thought they were really very important, and I always encountered very difficult, how would I say, very difficult. I'm trying to look for my words in English. How is it that I can talk about these and in the same time be understandable and that people understand it? Because nowadays people really are very motivated about fame, very motivated about being loved in the sense more of praise than of really the true kind of love, which is something that is much more deep and secret and even sometimes very discreet now, because like I love every day so many people, they don't know about it, and maybe it's good that they can feel it and that I don't have to always speak out about it, because maybe if I speak out too much, I am like trying to convince now that I love you, I love you, I love you. You know, I had this, relationship that you tell a person, I love you so many times, that person just can't stand you anymore. So these 8 dharma, mundane dharmas, are explained by Ringo Tulku Rinpoche in such a wonderful, incredible, simple, and very joyful way that I felt inspired. Because I always thought it was very important for everybody, and specifically I thought it was important for artists, that we could know these things that come from Buddhism and that are so useful. I really believe, I'm going to explain to you what these are. Of course, Ringo Tulku does it much better. If you want to listen to him directly, you can apply in bodhicharya.org. I will look forward, if I'm able technically, to write it down the video so you can find him. And so I will talk about that. I will talk a little bit about my own news, and then I will see how this experience is of making this video on direct, because this is, I think it's the first time. And I'm like trying to choose, would I do that on YouTube? I think maybe I prefer YouTube than doing it on Facebook. So this is just a check. So this motivation that we can have in life, like if our true motivation in our heart is like something that we felt as very often, I think we feel it as a child or in the night, it's something really genuine, it's like what is really important in the sense of my honor, in the sense of my bliss, in the sense of inside of my, what you call soul, I really feel that this is really the goodness. I am manifesting the goodness of myself. I'm looking forwards to genuinely be a good and proper and decent human being, because that makes me feel so worthy. And I think this is something very important, because it doesn't really matter if you're religious or not. I am a Buddhist, of course, convinced. I am very, very much convinced. The more I practice, the more I am. But anyway, it's not about religion. It's really that when you do feel decent and proper, and you do feel that you are in relationship with your truth, your true heart, the deepest truth of your heart, when you do manage to live together with that sensation, that maybe you make a mistake or another mistake, doesn't matter, but you feel that you are doing in your life something that is really reliable and really worthy and really from your heart, then this is being rich, and this is being full of joy. This is something that is the reward. The reward does not come from so much other things outside of yourself. It comes very much from inside of oneself. And that reward that you feel inside of yourself is something that you you don't need anybody to approve it. You feel that. I don't know if I'm expressing myself clearly, but anyway, this is an experiment, so I can do whatever I want. So in Buddhism, they taught to me, and I always thought this was a genius, as everything in Buddhism is, but this is really genius, is that there are 8 things that make you somehow forget about what was the real thing, you wanted. I coached a very young lady dancer. She was training to be a professional dancer at 9 or 10 years old. And I asked her, why are you dancing? And she was a little bit confused. She didn't know what to answer. And then she looked at me and she said, for love. And I told her to write it down and paint that, because maybe she forgets love, maybe she gets entangled in things that are not that true motivation. So these 8 are divided in 4, and these 4, like, I want to be rich. I really want a lot of money. I want a lot of wealth. I want everything I want it, So that's one motivation. It could be the motivation to get richer and richer and richer. You never know what that ends. When is it that you are rich or not? Are you rich when you have enough or not? So this is one of the motivations. So I told you there are 8, but we have 4 main ones, and then the opposite of the 4. So the second one would be, am I famous? I want to be famous. I want to be famous. How much better I will feel if I'm famous, which is absolutely not for sure. The third one is, I really want so much pleasure. I want always pleasure, always pleasure. And if I have pleasure, I will feel happy, which is also not for sure, because maybe you have a pleasure, but then this chocolate was delicious, but then a second, a third one, and then you get sick, So it's not obvious that pleasure is the thing that is really essential, no? And then you have this, the last one is that people should praise me. They should say always such good things about me. And so if they praise me, and if my attitude is to be praised, and then I will be happy. And this is also not always true, because maybe I have attitudes to be praised that are not so sincere and not so genuine. And it's impossible that everybody will praise you anyway, so it won't work. And the opposite of these are exactly the opposite, is that I'm afraid, so I want to be wealthy, or I'm afraid not to be. I'm afraid of being poor. So that's also going to make me feel miserable, no? So I want lots of pleasure, but I'm very afraid of all the pain. That's going to be difficult, because the human physical body is, how could I say, the body and the psychologic and all of our lives is sensitive. And so to be sensitive is that you do have pleasure and you do have pain. You rarely will have just nothing, you know. So pain is part of the material manifestation of a body. The body has pain because that's the sign of something happening that you have to know. So you cannot live without any pain at all. And sometimes pain is very important because sometimes through pain is where you get sensitive also to the pain of other people, and then you learn how to open your heart, and you learn how to sometimes relax into. I got a phone call. I'm doing a direct, but I got a phone call. I forgot to to take away the phone. Okay, and so yeah, so you think famous and not being famous, but actually this. I have to. I'm going to see if I can do that online. Maybe I can't. No, it's not working. Yeah. Okay. Um, so I just learned something when I do a online on direct. I really have to switch off the phone. Yeah. So let me finish this. And I'm sorry if this is annoying. Anyway, you just go away if it's annoying because I'm doing my experience. So when you think that everything in your life is about fame, and it's about pleasure, and it's about money, and it's about wealth, and it's about praise. And when you think really about that, that's the way usually we do believe, no? Because we did develop a society where the value is not so much about your inner reward and your sense of decency and how humankind is kind. The kindness of human being is very unique. Only us human being can take care of things, of people. We are very creative. We are very good at creation. We know how to make things, how to make stuff, how to make up things, how to invent things. And so it's like it comes together, with this skillful human brain and ability. It comes together with the fact that we really have to take care of ourselves and of everything, because that's the kindness of the humankind, I think. And I really think it's very important. So when my motivation as a dancer, as an artist, or as a person is not any more from my genuine heart and from that thing that I feel that I'm being decent, that I'm being accurate, together with how do I feel about my own soul? If I was to die now, am I satisfied with who I am and what I do and what I did? This is so important, no? Because usually when you get to a point where something happens to you, difficult things like about to die or about to step into a life that is everything is changing and it's not what you thought, you don't get what you wanted, or you have loss of everything that you thought was secure. When that happens to you, what you don't lose is this feeling of yourself in relationship with existence, with the cosmos, with life, with everything, this love. And so as an artist, it's very easy that we get lost, no? Because of course, all life is art, but the artist is kind of earning money because people love him, or because, or because he is famous. You see, already two of them, yeah. And you need to earn a little bit of money, otherwise, how can you do your art? It's not so easy, no. How could you pay your bills? All that. And so, as an artist, this braveness, or as anybody who realizes that his life or her life is art, whatever you do, can you be brave enough to take that path that you are in relationship with your true, deepest secret, true motivation, that you can feel like some kind of pride in a genuine sanity of pride, yeah, that you feel accurate, you feel decent. And so you really look forwards to understand and analyze what does it mean to do things to be famous? What does it mean to do things to only be wealthy? What it means, how far does it go? Where does it stop? No? Like first I will do this tricky things, no, to be famous, or I do this tricky thing, like imagine you have a producer and the producer wants you to maybe show how nice you are naked or half naked, and then you don't really want to do that, but you do it, because maybe, yeah. So you're not really following that thing inside of you that you feel is your vibration. That's really the thing that you feel is the best. No, I'm not talking about the fact that you could not feel good at, like, for example, doing art naked. It's not about nakedness in C. It's about why are you doing that only because you want to be famous or you want to earn money, or are you doing that because it's the true offering that you have, that you really truly from your full heart, heartfully offer to the world? And it's the same thing for many things in art. Like if you are writing something and somebody comes and says, if you write like that, people don't understand. Nowadays, people are stupid. They need you to write the way that you should understand. They don't have vocabulary. They don't understand it. They have to be taught how to understand what you wrote. Maybe that's not the case. Maybe you just have to write in a sense that maybe it's difficult for the people to understand what you're writing, but they will enjoy learning vocabulary because that's needed, no? At one point, if we're talking, we are human beings. We do enjoy to have richness in who we are, how we talk, how we move. If you are a musician, you will train your instrument. If you're a dancer, you will train your relationship between body, mind, and energy. You have to. And that's where is the core of what you're doing. The core of what you're doing is not the motivation of being wealthy, the motivation of being famous, the motivation of being praised, or the motivation of having pleasure. And it's not either the fear of not being wealthy, of not being praised, of not being famous, or of not having pleasure. So you go beyond these. And when you go beyond these, then you enter in your true vocation. That's what usually artists do, and even sometimes you see they do art and their art at one point pleases everybody, and then they get into something that doesn't please everybody. It's because they are on a path where they need to explore from the deep sincerity. Yes, sincerity. Okay, so I think this video is getting long enough for an experience. Maybe I will erase it. I'm not sure. Maybe I will erase it. But anyway, if you look at it before I erase it, I will come back to do some master classes, at least the ones I promised about the Danza Duende work, at least a few of them, as soon as I have time. I'm also having this book, the L'Île de Bide, which is in French, been translated to Portuguese. So in Portuguese, it will be A Ilha da Sibila. It's a very special book to my heart. It took a long time to get out of my, how would you say, of my engagement, that I would be able to get this story out of myself. But now it's there and people can find it, they can read it. And I'm very happy if you want to exchange about the topics in this book, because the topics are very, very, how would you say, yes, they are fundamental topics. And I wish everybody a Merry Christmas. And that's it. That's it. Bye-bye.